Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Dave Roberts. I'm the Capital Projects Manager at Woodland Pond, and this is my weekly address to update you all on everything to do with our renovation and addition to the existing campus. Um, it's been a good week. It's always a good week. One of the first things I'm actually going to share my screen with you because one of the oh, I can't see what I want to share with you. That's interesting, isn't it? Always a learning process here. So I just want to go through some of the things that we've done in the last week, and I hope that you can see my screen now. Um, actually, I'm okay. Um, I'm sorry. I got a little distracted. I just want to make sure that you can see my screen. So this first week, in the last week, we had a couple meetings. We looked at the landscape. Um, we met with the landscape committee um, and looking at the areas that are affected by the construction. And primarily that was kind of to look at the planting and discuss what's appropriate. Mark Eisenhandler was part of that meeting. And we had it was less about the overall design than, as I say, about the planting diagrams and so on. And so I just wanted to give you an overview. If you can look at my screen here, um, the this is the overall campus, and it gives you an idea of what the areas that we're affecting. The ones that we're affecting are the shaded areas. That's the additions to the existing building, and then there's associated planting with those additions. Um, and we have discussed some of these areas in more detail before, but down here in the wellness area, we have a flat area for exercise and so on, and then a community garden. That's not actually the proposed design, but areas around the Performing Arts Centre, the dining courtyard, which will get disrupted when we do these additions. So we're going to really improve that area. And also we're developing some areas adjacent to the health centre additions as well. So I wasn't going to go through all of these, and actually I'll say to the landscape committee that I'm in process of getting the drawings printed, and they'll be hung up in a place so that everyone can take a look in more detail. But the primary thing here is for our members of the landscape committee and Mark Eisenhandler to be able to look at this here, and this is all the list of all the different plants that they're proposing for these areas. And our landscape committee can look at those, see if they think they're appropriate, see if there's ones that they would like to add there, and make comments back to our landscape architect. Now, part of the discussion that we had was really interesting because we talked about what ornamentals are appropriate for use, what grasses are appropriate, and that sort of thing. We're trying to balance practicality use, but there is a strong motivation from landscape committee, but also residents to use to think sustainably and use native grasses and so on, and things that don't take a lot of maintenance and water. Really, really important. And so these are the sorts of things we're discussing in the meeting, as well as some of the practical aspects about what we need to support the community garden in terms of things like hose bibs and shed for equipment and that sort of thing, and also the need for additional sources of water around the campus. As I say, we didn't get as much done as we probably would have liked to because we're actually there's so many plants here that the typing is really small, and so we have to wait until I have the printed plans. But that's the direction that we're heading in at the moment with the landscape. And I know we'll get some really good input from our committee and then feed that back to the landscape architects. The other thing that we discuss with our designers, so every Tuesday we have a design meeting, and we focus on various aspects of the design, and then we go away and talk to whomever we need to get more detailed information or take time to review plans and give the designers feedback. So when we look at the health centre in skilled nursing, we now have a more centralised sort of dining and living area, which has great access to the outdoors and to a lot more natural daylight, which is really, really important. Same up here in memory care. The new dining area gets great views to the gunks, a lot more daylight. And the other thing that we have in these areas are these sort of more sort of residential type kitchens in these areas. And that's to just make people feel more engaged. I mean, there can be activities with the residents that happen within those kitchens. In memory care, it's really important for residents to observe the plating of the food, be able to smell the food. It all encourages eating and good appetite. But really the discussion this week was more about, okay, what's happening outside? Because now these areas, one of the impetus here was to give residents more access, easier access to the outside. So as you can see, in skilled nursing, they can access the outside here, and we're looking at having, like a large patio area so that they can sit with at tables and eat outside, do activities outside. If they have guests or family visiting them, they could sit outside. And then looking at extending that, so maybe there's a small path that they can walk around, or be or with like benches and so on, so they can be outside and enjoy the outside in a safe and easy to get to way. Same down here in memory care. A lot of you will know that if you look at my cursor, there is a memory care garden at the moment. So we want to have AL, assisted living, have access through a porch in this area to a new garden in this area, so that they will also have somewhere that's a little more inviting than what we have at the moment. And I think these are great amenities for these for the healthcare. And of course, then the other thing that we have on the second floor is this terrace. Outdoor terrace, which will have a covered pergola, so residents can have a choice as to whether they want to be out in the sun or be in the shade, and that's on the upper floor. Very excited about this because it does mean that if residents have maybe you have 15 minutes, you want to sit outside, you don't want to catch the elevator down to go outside, then you can just go out here and sit outside at an elevated terrace. So that was one of the other discussions or major discussions that we had with our team at the design meeting on Tuesday. I am going to see if I can stop sharing. Yeah, and come back to you. Oh, actually, not doing this very well. All right, I'll just, I guess okay. So now I just want to also give an update as to the status of the planning board meeting. What we've been doing is, sorry, We've been preparing for the planning board meeting on next Tuesday. So that's November the 19th. The planning board meeting is between 7 and 9 p.m. And I know a lot of residents have expressed interest in, watching that. You can attend. It's at 25 Plattekill Avenue in New Paltz, or you can watch on the Village YouTube channel, and there is a Zoom link. It's important to know that this is not a there's no public comment at this meeting. So it's really just our first presentation to the planning board for them to listen to what we're doing, the intent behind it, and then us to get their response to it. They've had the drawings for a few weeks, so they know what they'll be looking at, and they'll be able to give us comments and direction. I do expect that they will set a period for the public hearing for the following month, but that's not guaranteed. So we'll see what their decision is on that. There should be no, surprises for them. As I say, they've had those drawings for a few weeks. We haven't actually had any comment back from them, which is only a good thing. So we've been prepping for that. We did a dry run this morning just to kind of talk about what we'll be doing or what we'll be discussing. It will be myself and Ken Casamento, the civil engineer, talking about that. And I'll be giving just some background information as to why we want to do the changes that we're proposing. And then Ken will get into more of the technical detail and so on. So what I'll do is we actually haven't received the agenda, and they send out a Zoom link with the agenda. So when we get that, we can send that out to everyone. But when we send out the email with this address, then I'll send you the link to the Village YouTube channel in that email, and then you can just click on that and watch. Or as I say, you can be there in person as well. I just want to finish up with to let you know that on Monday, on Veterans Day, it was the first time I actually got paid to take Veterans Day off in my life. So I took advantage of that, and I went to a great conference up at Mohonk, which is run by Mohonk Consultations. And it was called Strengthening Community in a Time of Rapid Change. And it brought together a number of people that work in our immediate community, providing all kinds of services and amenities to people as they need them. And it was just a really uplifting and terrific experience. The people that were there was Brian Mahoney from Chronogram was there, farmers, Joe Conqueror, who was one of the co-founders of the O Positive Festival. They provide free health care to musicians and artists. It's a trade for them providing their work basically. So performers can perform, and for that they get healthcare. Just a tremendous thing that's been developed over the last I think 17 years. And there was a woman, Vicky, from the coalition of Forward Facing Ellenville. So they're really trying to build community and encourage community in Ellenville. There's a director of Housing Solutions from Pattern for Progress. All these people and actually the executive director of the Mid Hudson Library System was there. Someone from Habitat for Humanity. And I just came away from this conference just understanding more about the many accomplished members of the community who are working in different facets of service and supporting the community by listening to their needs, and then coming up with solutions, whether it's healthcare, housing, youth, providing activities for youth in towns and so on. and it was just really amazing, really amazing. So I'll leave you with that. Sorry about my technical struggles, but I hope you learned something. And as always, reach out to me if you have any questions, and we'll send out that link to Tuesday's planning board meeting. You know, I've been anticipating this for a long time, and I'm looking forward to it to see the response from our planning board. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great weekend.